We always hand flew it unless the weather was such that we needed to do an automatic landing. And that was really supposedly for noise reasons, but it's because we like flying.
Thousands of people are gathering at Heathrow. They've erected stands down there, and look, they keep spotting it. Turning round.
Some Mexican waves.
Yeah. One of 3 coming in, been spotted so far over Heathrow. From a passenger's perspective, people always say it's the most uncomfortable flight they've had. Is that true?
No, I don't believe it is. I think if you compare being in a Ferrari to a Rolls-Royce, you get a certain thrill of the smell and sensation of being in a Ferrari, and I think you can akin a Concorde to a Ferrari luxury sports car rather than to a sort of a slower, more comfortable, ponderous ride, if you will, in a Rolls-Royce.
Good food, though.
Oh yes, but Concorde, you know,
And there's little chocolates at the end as well.
well, the gifts they give away. I mean, I've got wine things, business cards. You know, they're just, it's absolutely fantastic. But it wasn't uncomfortable because you weren't on it long enough for it to be. The longest I've been on is 9 hours.
Just have a quick listen to air traffic control.
That sounded like somebody being cleared to descend to 3,000, and 3,000 feet is the height at which they will approach over central London prior to picking up the glide path. This is the instrument landing system that they will be using for guiding themselves down to the threshold, and it's a beam radiated from the runway which gives you a centre line and a 3-degree angle.
What are you doing with the nose now? Because obviously we know that the nose tips up and down.
Well, once you're back to 250 knots, just before you reach 250 knots, the visor has to come down and the nose goes down to 5 degrees, and that's purely for visibility, so you know, you can see what's going on outside. And coupled with the fact that you won't be able to get the undercarriage down unless you lower the nose.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, being vectored for runway 27 right, being followed behind by Speedbird 2.
Right, that looks as though he's turning in on base leg now. It's quite difficult to see. It looks suspiciously like a base leg to me, which means he will be bringing the speed back to 210 knots. You don't mind me talking in knots, do you?
Absolutely not.
That's what we do it all in. We do it all in
You
knots.
carry on, you're flying this.
Right, so and just before he starts that final turn onto final approach, which is about now, he will use the auto throttle and dial the speed back to 190, and he'll be doing that right now. And even at 190, you can see that the aeroplane hasn't got that really great high nose-up attitude. The throttles will be at quite a low power setting, and it won't actually be making a huge amount of noise.
And this is a handle that you're literally moving with your hand.
In fact, no, you've got your hand on it, but you're dialing up the speeds, and then you set a speed in and then said acquire it now.
Like a cruise control type
Like
thing,
a cruise
yeah.
control, exactly. And so he's probably at 190 knots now. If this is the Edinburgh one, yes, it was a right-hand turn in, so this is the Edinburgh one, being flown by Les Brodie, my new recruit, the commander at Welshpool.
With former staff and
With
special
former
guests
staff,
on
yes,
board.
exactly. And he is having the time of his life.
You're a bit jealous, aren't you?
God damn it, I am.
Oh yeah, and they'll be able to see all the people as well.
Yeah.
I mean, even now, it's just breathtaking seeing that Delta Wing silhouette, which well, it was born sort of out of the V-bombers in the 1950s, I suppose, in the Vulcan and all those sorts of aircraft.
The Concorde's wing shape was spawned out of wind tunnel tests and things, so it was a test aircraft. Right, so we're only looking at just the one aeroplane at the moment, and I'm making this wild assumption that he is actually on the final approach. Your cameraman might eventually have a chance to pan to the next one. It's very difficult just looking at a screen to actually see what heading the aircraft is on, but it definitely looks to me as though he's flying at 190 knots at the moment.
Will there be a point where the crowds that have gathered around Heathrow will be able to see all 3 at the same time in the air?
Yes, oh absolutely, yes. When you must see in the daytime, when you look up the approach, you see all these aircraft all sort of stepped up. It looks
It's
as
coming in
though
on the A4, effectively, isn't it?
absolutely, yeah. And
What's the gap, Colin? About 8 miles between?
no, I think they're doing a 5-mile separation.
Okay.
I think he said, yeah.
There's
And that looks as though it's the probably the second one, unless you've got another camera there somewhere. That's,
I think we're onto another camera now. We're trying to get as many angles on this approach as possible.
Okay. Couldn't just zoom in on the registration form.
3,100 feet is what air traffic.
Right, okay, so he's lined up on final approach at that height. And he's probably on the centre line using the localizer. And okay, right, so there's the first aircraft. He's obviously joined the glide slope. You know that because he's got his undercarriage down. And he's now flying that approach at 190 knots. And you see the nose is now in the fully down position. You see the nose in the fully down position. So he is now in the final landing configuration. And he's probably not yet at the point at which he's going to bring the speed back to the landing speed, which is probably likely to be about 167 knots.
He's probably actually just about ready to go over the studio where we are at the moment, so if the desk shakes,
quite,
you know that
quite possibly. It's quite difficult to tell which aeroplane it is I'm looking at. This one doesn't look as though it's got its undercarriage down yet.
No.
This looks as if it's the second one coming in, maybe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, when do the wheels go down? When do you actually make the decision to put the undercarriage down?
As you approach the glide path, it gives the aeroplane a chance to stabilise itself. It also gives you a chance to sort out any problems you might have with the undercarriage before the approach is finished. So you have a chance
This is plane number 2, we think.
Right.
Yeah, that undercarriage is coming down now.
Yeah, that's right, absolutely. So he is just joining the glide path at 3,000 feet at the moment, at 190 knots. If the air traffic controller needs to adjust the spacing between the aircraft, he'll give you a speed to fly. And
we keep hearing them interject. What sort of conversation is that going on with air traffic control?
That's air traffic saying you're cleared for the approach,
We've just been told a minute and a half to the first landing.
The first landing, okay. So there we go. Is that the third one, do we think? Look,
I think that might be the second one.
Okay, we're just going through the clouds. Okay, so that's Paul Douglas in that case. You've got a camera on the runway, haven't you?
I sincerely hope so. A bit late now, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. I'll make the sound effects for you.
Ah, there we are.
Right.
Oh,
here we go.
yes.
Right, well done, the cameraman.
Well done, cameraman.
Yes, excellent.
They've been out in the cold all day long. This is the moment they've been waiting for. Can't quite pick up number 3 as yet. Oh, we can see the difference in the attitude of the aircraft there, Colin.
Yes, absolutely.
And he does what, flare it as he comes in then, just to take the speed off of it?
What happens is, when he's got back to the final landing speed, which he will with a mile to go, and there's a departing aircraft.
Get out of the way, yeah.
Yes, quite. When he comes back to the final landing speed,
we think we might see the third one right
Dot in the very
distance.
far distance.
as the aircraft enters the ground cushion, the nose tries to drop and you lose lift. So you have to start pulling to stop it planting.
Let's just take a listen to Concorde as she comes in and final few seconds of this flight.
That sounds like Mike saying he's established on the ILS. I recognise Mike's voice. So that's the third plane.
And Scoop 219's with you for block 184, Charlotte 27 left.
Yeah.
219.
Oh look, there's a bit of drift. You see, he's
Slip sliding again.
yeah, exactly. So wind's obviously from the north. So here he goes. Oh.
Bit of a bumpy one there, Colin.
Every landing's but he won't have a chance to do a better one.
Reverse thrust now to slow
Reverse
down?
thrust in, yes, exactly. All 4 engines into full reverse thrust. And the speed coming down quite quickly. The conditions look as though they're quite bumpy out there, I must say.
1 down, 2 to go.
And that would be the side wind coming in that's affecting that?
Yes, exactly. And you've got to sort of remove the drift with the rudders and flare at the same time. You know, it's
So you've been
rubbing your
busy on
stomach
this.
and patting your head type trick at the yes, absolutely.
How many minutes between each landing?
What did we say? We said 2 minutes, didn't we?
So we've had slightly ahead.
103 and 05, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes. Based on that. So here we go. Here comes the second one.
No, it's going to be a bit of a competition now about who's going to deliver the best landing. Who's your money on?
I don't think I'll play this game.
Go on.
I'll not be the one to cast the first stone.
But you do know all three pilots,
I know all three pilots extremely well, yes.
so that there might be a conversation in the bar at some stage in the future.
Well, I'll have my 3 pennyworth, yes.
What do you think they're feeling as they guide these planes down?
They are working extremely hard. You're not thinking esoteric things at the moment. You're working at it. You're working at it.
And the last 2 aircraft there now.
Landing a Concorde is not a pushover. It's the greatest physical test you will probably have other than landing an aircraft on an aircraft carrier.
And that's because you've not got all of these flaps and control surfaces you can alter because of the delta wing.
It's not so much that, it's this high nose up attitude that the aeroplane has, which means very small changes in the stick movement have devastating effects on your rate of climb and descent.
Right. So you've really
It's called
got
backside of the drag curve.
Fair enough.
The technical boys.
Yes.
And again, he's having to slip it in.
Right, there we are. He's drifting it in, but he'll be keeping the main wheels on the centre line as he comes in. And here he is, and he's just a little high flare there. He'll be looking for it, pulling, and there we go. The conditions are not perfect out there.
Marks out of 10 for that one?
No, I'm not playing that game. Here we go, here's the reverse thrusts coming in.
Is that quite a jolt when you put that on and it really pulls you back in?
Yes, it's you can stop this aeroplane really quickly if you want to, and it's quite an impressive demonstration if you're landing on short limiting runways.
You can see that tremendous heat coming out those engines there.
Yeah, landing at New York in the snow and ice, so when the runways were literally just sheets of ice, one stood on everything and put the reversers in, and you actually turned off where you normally turn off when the runway's bare and dry.
Because of the braking effect of the engines?
Just if you really try hard, you stop it a lot quicker than when you just do a normal modulated landing. But look at that, isn't that just the most beautiful sight? Such a tragedy.
Fred, what on earth are you going to do now?
Well, it's like a love affair, and it's
over.
It's over. I am very, very sad, and a lot of people will probably feel the same way as I do. I believe that this is Concorde, and it's multi-denominational, and somewhere it should perhaps go back to the people who, after all, paid for it.
Wonderful shots coming in from the Sky Copter up there from behind Concorde. It's the last one, we think, the transatlantic flight from New York.
That's it. Now look at the high nose up attitude, and look how you can look straight into the cockpit from this position. You see, you don't see anything of the nose in front of you when you're in this position, sitting right up at the front there. It's like looking through a letterbox.
Oh, there we are.
Okay.
Just past Hatton Cross.
Right, here we go. Let's see how Mike gets on here.
Oh, the pressure.
Well, he's been on it for a long time, Mike, as a first officer.
Yes, he went away for a while and then came back as a captain. Yeah.
Will he have known how the others have landed now?
No, not yet. He just says I am. So, he's feeling for it. He's kicked the nose straight, and that kisses on just beautifully.
Is that what they call a cat's lick?
Yes, and a few other root things. Yes.
That's where you get that rasping of the tires as it hits the tarmac. That's what you're looking for.
Sound.
Right, I see.
Well, it is possible to land this aeroplane and for nobody to know that you've actually landed until the reversers come in.
Well, you're watching Sky News. It's 6 minutes past 4, Friday afternoon. You've just witnessed the last Concorde transatlantic flight touching down at Heathrow Airport in London. Thousands of people gathered at Heathrow Airport to watch this historic flight come in. 3 Concordes arriving in the last 5-10 minutes.
The living history here at Heathrow Airport. Joining us in the studio, Colin Morris, former Concorde captain, Fred Finn, the most frequent flyer on Concorde, 718 journeys. Your feelings at this moment? Colin first.
Well, I'm terribly emotional. I'm just having to control myself. I've had a lot of trouble today watching various aspects of the aircraft coming and going, and I'm just joining thousands and thousands of people with a tear in their eye.
And the flag flying out of the cockpit
flag
there.
flying.
And Fred, how do you feel?
Void. devastated, really. It's the only good thing personally to come out for me in this is that I've done that, and my Guinness Book of Records thing now is permanent. No,
never been beat you now.
That's the upside, but to see this just go and it's so beautiful and got so many years of life in it, it's just incredibly devastating.
It is devastating.
She's done it with style, though, hasn't she?
But let's just celebrate her 27 years of commercial service, which has in fact been terribly successful. Now look, he's bowing. I think he's dropped. What's going on here? Has he dropped the nose, or has he not brought it up after the landing yet? I can't quite see what's going on.
There was a scheduled bow, apparently.
Was there a scheduled bow? Well, that was a little
bow.
trick we used to pull.
Right. You're supposed to pull up the nose on landing,
yes, you pull up the nose, but then you come up to the crowd and you drop the nose. And
One
you bring
last
it back up
little
again.
mention from our air traffic control friends. The Eagles have landed. Welcome home.
Isn't that
nice,
nice?
isn't it?
They've been great friends to us over the years.
What's happening now? That they're going to put all 5 of the Concorde that are there at Heathrow together, are they?
Well, yes, today. Yes,
Yeah.
they're going to taxi around the airfield, one on the outer taxiway and the other on the inner, and just to basically let everybody who's turned out have a final look at the aeroplane. A little bit of showbiz, eh?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
And home is Hatton Cross, effectively, that big sort of hangar out at the end by the 8th.
Well, yes. Now, look, how about that?
yes.
Look, there's a fine picture. And I think they are going to go around to Hatton Cross, where everybody will be disgorged for one huge hoolie, I should imagine.
Again, why not?
Again, yes, those who can still stand up. Yes. Oh, look.
Yeah, nose down in terms
all
of,
the staff
I
lined
suppose, acknowledging all that, the ground crew and the engineers and everyone who's kept
It's a
these flying over the many years.
Huge
Yeah.
huge team that's kept the aeroplane in the air. But
And did each aircraft have its own sort of characteristics? You see the various call signs there. Did you know, oh dear, we know this one, it's got a bit of a, whatever?
Now, how can I answer that one? There was an element of that. There was always one which had a sort of a reoccurring snag, which you could never quite iron out, and it was never bad enough to actually ground the aeroplane or anything like that. But you knew that's probably what it was going to throw at you on the way across.
Right.
But otherwise, they all handled absolutely identically.
From a passenger's point of view, Fred, did you know the different aircraft that you're flying on?
Well, not really. Perhaps. No. No, I was going to say that the only...
By the time you've got your champagne and your chocolates and your this, that, and the other, I suppose
I've got a bottle of... I've got a Methuselah of champagne that was given to me for 500 flights, and it's done in gold, and they did it, the Champagne House, with the British and the French Concorde on it, and I've never opened it, and probably never will. I was presented with an original oil painting of Concorde for 600 flights, going over the Isle of Wight, and it was by quite a famous artist, and these things are just a treasure to me.
It's not
now.
a bad frequent flyer programme, is it, really?
No.
Oh, good gracious, no. I mean, well, frequent flyer program, I never had a chance. There was a time when they were giving 4,000 miles away on a trip, and I was clocking up 12,000 miles a week, and they really didn't go too much on that.
No, I'm sure not. Well, let's go down to Heathrow. Alex Rossi has been watching the 3 final Concordes come into Heathrow within the last 15 minutes. He's doing us a bow.
The salute,
Thank you
especially
very
for
much.
Sky News.
Yeah.
Very nice too.
Alex Rossi's with some people who watch that. Alex, tell us how they're feeling at this stage.
Well, in the last half an hour, the numbers here have swelled dramatically. There are several thousand people lining the northern perimeter road just to catch the last glimpse of Concorde. And actually, what you could hear, apart from the supersonic sounding jet engines, was the snapping of cameras and the whir of the motors. Lots of people also fairly respectful, not a great cheer as they landed, but a sort of a fairly respectful atmosphere, paying their final respects to what is essentially a momentous landmark in the history of aviation. I think we can have a word with a few people here, navigating my way through the crowd. Sir, can I just ask you, how did you feel when you saw the last 3 Concordes come into land?
It's quite emotional, really, isn't it? It's sort of like the end of an era, a very sort of iconic type thing, and it's weird seeing all these people here coming to see something which is you wouldn't do for anything else. I find it really quite strange, actually.
How would you have described the atmosphere? Because there wasn't that big cheer when they did come into land. It was much more respectful.
Yeah, there was a bit of sort of applause and all that, and I think that you could just sort of feel there was some slight emotions. There's some British Airways crews actually in tears just walking past here, which was quite interesting, and it just feels like it's one of those things that's another thing that's come to an end, and we sort of move on to 21st century. That's what it feels like.
What do you think it is about Concorde that makes it have such a huge appeal?
It feels like it's the last. I think it's the last bit of sort of the romance of flying. You can remember where you see aircraft and things like that, and they go all over the world in a way that it's sort of quite exciting and romantic. But it's become quite commonplace now. It's actually cheaper to fly some than to go by train. But there's something which is that Concorde not only did that, but it was actually quite beautiful. And watching it, for instance, take off today. That it actually took off in half the distance and twice the speed of all the other aircraft, which lumbered into the air, and this thing just flew. It took off like an eagle, in fact.
It does. That's one of the things that people are very surprised about, is the fact that although it's been made over 30 years ago, it's still very graceful.
Yeah, and there was the excitement when we saw it flying overhead, and it came over the top of Heathrow, and everyone suddenly looked for it, and it just looks beautiful. There's no doubt, and it's been a sort of very sad day to see it go.
Okay, sad. That really seems to be the sort of emotion that most people are feeling, is one of sadness. Concorde obviously started its flying career back in 1976. Now, nearly 28 years later, it's ending its flying career. We'll just see if we can have a word with this woman here. How are you feeling when Concorde came
Absolutely
to land?
gutted. It made me sad. I wanted to cry, and I could cry now.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you shed a tear in the end?
Yeah, I did. Lovely.
What is it about Concorde